Hey everybody, welcome back to the Build Show. I'm Steve Bazek. We're back out here at the ranch remodel, and today we're talking about the balustrade system that we're going to be putting in here on this existing stairway. So we didn't change the direction of the stairs or the size of the stairs, but it had this old traditionally turned newel post, etc., and we're giving it a facelift. So we're trying to bring it up to those nice clean lines that we have all around the house here to match it, give it that little contemporary twist. And so the handrail here is basically, this is a relatively good mock-up. It's going to be a little higher, but basically we have a mahogany rail that's going to come off the wall, go over to here, and it's going to turn down in waterfall. So it's basically turns 90, dies down into the floor. You can see here, we have our first board that is the nosing for the stairs, but you can see all the dados here where we're going to plug in our balusters. So I don't have one of the balusters on site, but it's basically about 1.5 inch square pedestal that's about 1.5 inch tall that then has a pyramidal taper that'll plug into the bottom of our waterfall rail. Give it a nice, real contemporary look. Now, one of the issues when we were laying this out and designing it was we have a nice sturdy connection over there at the wall. We have a nice sturdy connection down here at the floor, but this corner here is not a sturdy connection. So we had to make it one. So the solution was we buried this 1/4 inch bar steel. It goes down into the floor framing. It goes down there a good, say, 14 inches, and it's bolted down there. This is rock solid. You're not moving it. So now that we have that strong support here, we had to figure out a way now, how do we wrap it and how do we attach to that to add that support and basically get support there, and from the steel in the system. Working with the guys at Traditional Woodworks up in Berwick, Maine, it's top notch. So we worked with them, we came up with the solution. So the solution is such that we have that bar steel, this temporary rail, it's just here for safety now, but that's going to get removed. But look what they made up here. So this is the actual piece that's going to go here, right? It's going to go here, and then we'll have our rail come into that. This will obviously get cut to size. But what they did was they built this in 2 pieces. So you can see here, it has this giant reveal. So that reveal is such that it can lay right over the steel. And the steel, you notice, is all pre-drilled. And so when you put that on, they'll just be able to drill or screw through the steel into this mahogany post and get that stiffness that we require, and then basically have this closure piece on the inside that'll marry up there beautifully and attach, but you'll end up with that beautiful mahogany rail that's going to come up. It'll fly across there. We'll have our nice contemporary balusters to complement the stairway here. You can see we have this wall going in behind us. We have some nice fir boards that are vertical planks that'll go up to a nice shelf here. We have our columns open. The open columns concept was all about anybody entering the house here in the front entry. We wanted them to be able to see that barrel vaulted coffered ceiling. So we didn't want to make that a solid wall. We wanted to open it up. And this vertical planking is going to go right down and basically feed the whole stairwell. So let's go back to the studio. We'll pull up some drawings there, and we'll talk a little bit more in detail on the design of this stairway. So I'll see you back at the studio. Hey everybody. I hope you enjoyed that short video there that we did out at the job site. I know right now you're just seeing a piece of bar steel. I'm trying to explain what we're doing there. I promise you, we have some beautiful stuff that are coming out of that, but I need you to understand kind of the behind the scenes efforts of what makes a stair rail system like that possible. So I printed out one of the elevation drawings from the set of drawings here. Let's take a dive into that, and we'll talk about that system a little bit more in depth. Alrighty. So you can see here, I printed out a quick section elevation of what's happening at that stair rail system. You can see here we have those columns above where we have these openings where you can see beyond. This was that entrance to the living room beyond. And we have that kind of 3/4 wall. And you can see there, we're going to finish that with a fine piece of mahogany that waterfalls down into the entry. It gets complemented by the same on the other side. The infill here is, some vertical Doug fir paneling that we had made up in the wood shop. But we're really talking about that stair rail. Remember, we had that piece of steel rising up out of the floor system here. And, you can see this is a pretty contemporary rail system where basically the handrail comes and waterfalls down to the floor. And, that piece of steel is going to make that kind of rigid member to have the rigidity at this end. And obviously the rail system will be attached rigidly there. And then we have the balustrade. But it became a challenge because one of the things that we were striving for here was kind of a minimalist approach. And so you don't have a whole lot of things to attach to. So coming up with that steel reinforcing bar in there was basically key to the success of this stair rail system. A couple other things, I mentioned we didn't have them on at the job site, so we'll see that in a subsequent video, but there's those taper balusters. They go down to just a small little pedestal there. So they have some traditional outreach, but because of their pyramidal shape and their tapered and simplicity, they carry kind of a contemporary flair. They go up to that nice flat bar. These lines here are a very nice complement to the lines of the paneling beyond. So these are all made out of fir, which complements that. The waterfall handrail and the riser there is made out of the same mahogany that will be here. And, again, nice, strong sense of order, right? The whole arrangement. That order is one of my big things in that things get appreciated when they get understood, right? So if we do this and look at this, you'll notice I just traced that big rectangle. Well, look what happens. We have the big rectangle, we have the wall rectangle, and then we have the stair rail rectangle, right? Pretty much relatively proportional in their sense of order and their sense of hierarchy. You have the nice big opening. This one here is the one that offers you the view so that you can look beyond and see that beautiful barrel vaulted ceiling. And if you haven't seen that video, definitely go check it out. That ceiling, the traditional woodwork guys did an absolutely stunning job of that barrel vaulted ceiling beyond. And that was the purpose of this wall. So that as I move across the entryway, I wanted to have the ability to see that beautiful ceiling every chance I got. So it would have been real easy to just do this as a wall all the way up to the top, plaster it, or do the wood panels all the way to the top. But then I would have lost the appreciation for that barrel vaulted ceiling unless I actually went in the room. This allows the room to be private because you can see here we have a 68-inch wall system here, 5'8", and we don't have a whole lot of space, but it is clearly enough to gain an appreciation for what's happening in that room while maintaining the privacy. But again, you can see how those rectangles step down. So there's that sense of hierarchy. There's that sense of order that I talk about in what we do, whether it's interior or exterior work. And because of that sense of order and hierarchy, it's easily understood. Right? And things that are easily understood are very easily appreciated and greatly appreciated. And then that turns into every time somebody walks across here, they're going to be like, man, I love that wall. I love that railing system. And that appreciation is, it's a good sign. They're not going to be able to sit back and tell you why. I mean, they might say, oh, I love the balustrade. I like the fir. I like the mahogany, whatever the case may be. But the reality is it is just, the composition was well put together, well thought out, has some adherence to the basic rules of architecture, and the result is quite stunning. So anyways, that's our stair rail system and that entry wall system. Alrighty, everybody. So hope you enjoyed that. I know on paper, I think it looks pretty spectacular, but in the future here, we're going to have a video or two of that all finished out. It's going to be exceptional. I can't wait. I try and get up there as much as I can to check out that project. It's the guys at Traditional Woodworks are killing it with the interiors. They're doing a superb job. I just can't wait to see that whole stair rail system get installed. But stay tuned. We're not too far away from it. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't, go check out my past videos. Big Red has been in action every one of the videos. If Sharpie's listening, boy, I could use a few more Big Reds. He's working overtime here. He's starting to get a little tired. Could use some reinforcements. So that's my little plug to Sharpie. But anyways, go check out the Build Show Network. I got some past videos on there. I think it's all pretty cool stuff. It's stuff I'm doing today and yesterday, and stuff I'll be doing tomorrow. It's all relevant stuff. I have some great colleagues on there: Matt, Wade, Jake, Brent. All these guys are doing spectacular stuff. Sit down, make a point of it. Start your morning watching one of these videos. They're not overwhelming. They're short little pops, but they are packed with knowledge. If you're looking for more from me, you can find me on Instagram. I'm at Stephen Basic Architect. I drop a whole bunch of knowledge on there and try and share as much as I can. As you know, I'm pretty free with this knowledge. It helps the industry, but it helps me propel forward too. So there's motivation behind it. My daughter's on there. She's at Alexandra Bazek. She works with me. She's working as an associate architect for the firm, and she's coming along beautifully. So go check out her work on Instagram also. Lastly, the Unbuild It podcast. Peter Yost, Jake Bruton, and myself, we're the hosts of the Unbuild It podcast, where we take complex building science topics, we break them down to common denominators, easily understood. We have conversations about it between the three of us. We have years and years of experience, so we have a lot of stories to tell and information to provide. So check it out, Unbuild It podcast. Anyways, other than that, look for me in the future on the Build Show Network. We got a lot of great stuff coming down the pike. But until next time, long live our buildings.